Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. On today's episode, we're going to talk about shill bidding and market manipulation as it pertains to the Pokemon hobby. And yes, all the drama going on right now with PWCC and eBay definitely helped spur this video, but I think this video is long overdue. And just to get it out of the way, yes, I do have 82 items currently at PWCC that were supposed to be in this upcoming August auction, and at the time of this video all those cards should have already posted. Obviously now with everything going on, those cards will not be up there. No, currently at this time of this video I do not know what the state of those cards are, what they're going to do with them. I am hoping that PWCC just allows all those cards to go to the vault for absolutely free. And if you guys aren't familiar with the vault, it's just, PWCC's ability to safely insure and store your cards. And right now, yes, PWCC is running a special to the end of September where any card valued over $250 can be stored in their vault for free right now. A lot of the cards I have as part of that 82 card submission that was supposed to be in August auction lot, those cards are under the $250 mark, or at least a bunch of them are. So I'm hoping all those cards can just go to my vault for free. All this is too early to really know, but yes, that is what I'm hoping. With that out of the way, the first thing we'll do is we'll talk about shill bidding. And all I have to say about shill bidding is just yawn. And why do I say yawn? The truth is shill bidding has been around in this hobby forever. It is as Pokemon as you get. And I could smell a shill bid from a mile away. And most people that I talk to, and most people that have been around this hobby for even a relatively short amount of time, most people could smell shill bids from a mile away. And, there's different types of shill bidding. The shill bidding that I always think about when somebody will say, oh, I think something was shill bidded, the first thing that I always think about is somebody just bidding on their own item. And why would somebody want to bid on their own item? Well, you would bid on your own item, and it's very easy, right? How would you do it? First off, I should say. So you have whatever item you're selling under your eBay account or whatever. That person would have multiple different eBay accounts, and eBay does allow, even with the same address sometimes, accounts to be in the same address, or people would just have an account at their grandparents' house for the address, or their mother's house, or some P.O. box or whatever, and they would just bid on their own items. And why would you want to bid on your own items? Well, people would just set starting auction prices for 99 cents for a card that they knew was worth way more than 99 cents. So for an arbitrary number, we'll just throw out a card that's worth $100. They would start the bid real low at 99 cents and have their two accounts start to bid up that price in very small increments. And you say, well, why would you bid up your own eBay account in very small increments? Well, when you bid up an auction and there's a lot of bids on it, that is just a selling technique that people would use to gain traction for their item. Because if somebody is scrolling through eBay and you see an auction that has 40 bids on it, people are more inclined to click on that eBay item. And they just want to click on that eBay item. A lot of times it's just they want to know, okay, what am I missing? Meaning, what is going on with this card that maybe I'm not seeing? And most of the time, if not all the time, with shill bidding action like that, is nothing. Literally nothing's going on with that card except for artificial hype and artificial demand for that card. And then, so that's like the first part of shill bidding, is you want to start getting traction for your item. And then the second type of shill bidding I think about when somebody is actively shill bidding their own eBay account or eBay auction is that with eBay, I don't even know if they really have reserve prices anymore. They probably do. I haven't seen a reserve price in forever. But if somebody is selling their card and they have a reserve price in their head, they could put their bid in so that reserve price is like going to be a high bid. And how can you easily recognize shill bids? Well, very often than not, you'll see a lot of higher dollar amount action going on either immediately after a high bid is placed. So let's say anyone that doesn't, it's not the person selling that item, somebody will come in and for that $100 item, they'll put $20. But maybe the auction at the time is only at $10. So what the person will do is they'll come in with that account and they'll slowly start raising that price, so they'll do a bid of $11. But obviously they're going to get outbid by that 20. So then they'll do another $12 bid, $13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18 until they get to the 20, 21. And once they get to the $21 bid, they're going to stop shilling their eBay item because now they've done two things. They've beat the max bet for the, last bid, and they also gradually stepped up the amount of bids for that item. And as they do that, there's now more than one bidder or more than two bidders. Now there's three bidders, and they're going to keep doing that. And you could really tell shill bidding, like I said, because you'll see that type of bidding happen immediately. As soon as a new higher price bid comes in, you'll start to see those shills hit as fast as they can get to beat that amount, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to gain traction for accounts or for their auctions. And then at the very end, when a 7-day auction gets to the last day and then the last hour, that's when you'll start to see price action happen, at a time period where you don't expect action to happen. And why do I say you don't expect action to happen in the last hour? Well, most of the time you don't expect a ton of bidding action to happen in the last hour, because people that are actively getting ready to purchase that item, they're going to wait for the last possible second to, put their max bid in with a second left, and if they get it, they get it. If they don't, they walk away. But you'll start to see people in that last hour really start to shill that price. And then you'll see a lot of artificial price increases happening to get that card or that product up to the highest possible dollar amount that seller feels comfortable with right before that auction's about to end. And then with that last 5 to a minute to last 30 seconds worth of action, a lot of those bids are more likely than not, true action going on for that auction, or people really trying to win that auction. And yes, a good shiller will have their account actively bidding in that last minute, last 30 seconds. But when you do that type of shill bidding where you're going to now really try to nickel and dime as much as you can get out of a auction item, you're definitely going to run the risk of losing that item by accidentally purchasing yourself, because you don't know what a person's real max or top dollar amount that they're going to want to spend on that item. So that's what shill bidding is, or at least that's what I always think about when it comes to shill bidding. But what could potentially have happened with PWCC, that maybe somebody from the company was artificially placing these bids to shill these items. And why would the company want to shill items? Well, because the higher dollar amount an item sells for, the bigger percentage off that sale they get. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. The release that eBay had against PWCC is extremely confusing. It makes no sense. It honestly feels like almost high school drama, in the sense that eBay put out this pretty, harshly worded press release. And if you believe what PWCC said, PWCC didn't even get contacted by eBay before all these actions happen. So I don't know. It's just juicy drama at this point. Then you have another type of shill bidding. And a different type of shill bidding is where somebody will bid on an item without wanting to buy that item. And you could ask yourself, well, why would somebody want to bid on an item that they're not selling and not buy it? Well, they would want to do that because they want that item to sell at a very high dollar amount. And the reason you would want some item that you don't own to sell at a high dollar amount is because the way the Pokemon market is, the Pokemon market is very easily manipulated. It is an unregulated, super heavily controlled, heavily manipulated market by a lot of different players. A lot of different players that are in communication with each other, but it's manipulated by a lot of people, like I said too, that have their own interests in mind. And when they have their own interests in mind with a shill bid, they can bid up an item knowing that they also have that item. So if a different item sells at a high dollar amount, that will make their item worth a lot more. So again, let's just say for an example, we take a $100 graded card. There's not a lot of them on the market. Somebody will come in, will bid up that PSA slab, which has been consistently selling for $100, and they'll start buying, or start raising the prices to like $130, $140, $150. And then when they win those items, they just don't pay. But it doesn't matter. If they pay or not, it does not matter, because now when somebody goes and they research that $100 PSA card, they're going to look at the most recent sold listings. And when the most recent sold listings show that $100 PSA card no longer at that $100 point and shows those cards at $130 to $150, that is now the new price point for that card. Whether or not that price point is justified or real is a different thing. But that's why you'll also see people do that type of shilling. And I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, well, I'm hearing all this stuff, but there's a lot of policies in place that eBay has done. I'm going to let you know right now, in all the time that I've ever been in this hobby, all the shill bidding I've ever heard of people doing, all the market manipulation I've ever heard of people doing, with the exception of what's happening right now with PWCC, never one time in my entire history in this hobby have I ever heard about anyone getting caught. And a lot of the times you don't hear about people getting caught because people, for the most part, are not stupid when they do this. Yes, there's the very obvious shill bidding where you'll see somebody come in with like zero feedback, and the zero feedback guy wins an auction. You'll see that with people with burner accounts trying to, like I said, jack up prices of cards that they don't plan on buying. So you'll see those zero feedback accounts doing those, because if those get banned, it doesn't matter. But like when you hear about the shill bidding of people's own accounts, normally people have multiple eBay accounts. They don't just have one. And not only do they not just have one account, these accounts they're running, they're all over the $200 to $400 feedback score. A lot of these accounts, are at least 5 years old. Like, they look like very legit eBay accounts, because I would say that most people have 3 eBay accounts. They probably have one that they use for their selling, one they use for their buying, and one they use for miscellaneous. So if you have people with 3 accounts, and given enough time, and you, like I said, you keep one of them for selling, one of them for buying, and they both get their own feedback scores, they look legit. Whether or not they're owned by the same person, somebody to just come in and see the final bidding action, they're going to go, oh, well, this bid looks legit because this account has a 400 feedback score and they got a star next to it. Oh, let's see when this account's been around. Oh, it's been around since 2014 or whatever. Yeah, they look at this stuff. And then, like I said, yes, there is the zero feedback stuff, but all this stuff, it is not new. This stuff has been going on forever. That's why when I say, like me personally, a lot of people I know, people can smell shill bids from a mile away. But I think what happens is the hobby as a whole is just either too young, too new, too inexperienced, that it's very easy to manipulate the market. It's so easy to take advantage of people with shill bidding. And I know what people are going to say. Well, shill bidding sounds like it could be a lot of work. And, is the risk worth the reward? for a lot of people, for shill bidding, the reward is definitely worth it. And why do I say it's worth it? Because over time, in the hobby, selling cards on eBay, if every single auction gets shill bidded, you're going to see over time a substantial percentage more money being made on your accounts. Now, I'm going to let you know right now that I don't sell any cards anymore at auction. The only cards I ever sell at auction are through PWCC. Everything I sell nowadays is all buy it now because I'm not into all this stuff. But just because I'm not into all this stuff doesn't mean that I do not understand how this all works. And yeah, a lot of people will think of shill bidding as, well, you just have your friend bid on your account or somebody you don't, but like, even that, like I said, isn't really true. eBay allows people to run multiple accounts. You can run them through businesses. You could run them through, different names. It's easy. Yeah, eBay now is definitely cracking down on that because now eBay requires more personal information because of tax purposes and stuff like that. It's definitely changed a lot in that sense. But in the past, it was always very easy. And eBay still, to this day, makes it very easy to go on and make new accounts. Like I said, those zero feedback, call them burner accounts or whatever you want to call them, they're dime a dozen. It doesn't take much for people to make them. So the market as a whole is just so easily manipulated. And not only is the market manipulated, it's not just manipulated through shill bidding. There's a lot of call them the good guys or the people that are supposed to be doing the good stuff for the hobby. They've been manipulating this market forever. Why do I say, they've been manipulating the market forever? Listen, you could go on a lot of people's personal YouTube pages or Instagrams or, TikToks or whatever social media platform is out there, and they're going to show the cards that they're going to list for auction. And if they're not their cards, a lot of times they're consigning those cards. And part of the reason they're able to get a lot of those consignees is because they will hype those cards up on their YouTube page or Instagram or whatever. And by hyping those cards and putting them out to the masses, and a lot of the times those cards can be very niche. And when they're very niche, a lot of people might not even know those cards really exist or how prevalent they are as a whole to the hobby. And then a lot of times people watching these YouTube channels or seeing these Instagram posts, that can be the first time they've ever been exposed to those cards. And then when somebody is actively showing off those cards on their channel and then instantly selling them on their eBay, that is a form of market manipulation. And listen, whether you guys want to make this argument, it is what it is. It's not false. It's not a lie. It's just the truth. It is a form of market manipulation. So market manipulation goes on all levels of this hobby. It goes on from all the people that you would think are the bad guys. And a lot of those people that are the bad guys, you've probably never heard of them before. Or maybe some of these people you have heard of them, but you just don't know who they are. Because a lot of the cards that get shill bidded and all this market manipulation happens, it very often happens at a high level. And when I'm talking about a high level, yeah. Did I use $100 graded cards as an example? Yeah. Why did I use $100? Because it's real easy numbers to use. But at a very high end, you're talking thousands of dollars now. And when you're talking thousands of dollars, you can start shifting the market. And if you're very smart with how you bid, with how you understand the market, you can shift a market and sway a market so you could get an entire population of collectors to start looking at sections of the hobby or cards or sets that they don't even realize that they're artificially being pushed to. And the reason they're artificially getting pushed to these sections is because now the cards within those sets are selling at such inflated prices. And, it almost works with, not to say money laundering. That's probably actually a terrible example to use. But if you can trade money between each other and actually make a lot of these sales legit on paper. But even if there's backroom dealings where, yeah, some of these cards involve, like, other parts of the trade, or it wasn't just an all cash thing and there was stuff that happened off of eBay, but some of the stuff went on eBay, and yeah, some people were willing to pay the seller's fees just in order to manipulate the market. All this stuff is very real, and it's not tinfoil hat stuff. You can get a card that sells for $50,000. And so from somebody looking at that card from the outside looking in, just from the eBay sale, you could say, wow, that card sold for $50,000. Who would have thought that's a new price point for that card? Well, maybe there is a small chance that the buyer of that card who bought that card on eBay with, seller's or buyer's protection and all the stuff that went on, and yeah, the seller had to pay their commission. Like I said just a little bit ago, maybe there was a lot of cards included in that deal that were just traded hands off of eBay. This is stuff that is real. This is stuff that could happen. It's a type of market manipulation. And you could say, well, why would somebody want to put all this work in to manipulate the market? The reason they want to do this is because there's a ton of money for them to be made. It's for their best interest. This hobby does not make the news. It does not reach these crazy high dollar amounts unless you have these sales to back up all this stuff. And, I was talking to Australian Blastoise just earlier today, before all this PWCC information and eBay drama came out. He literally was asking me, to do a video on shill bidding because of a gold star card that he was watching that just seemed very fishy. And not even knowing what auction he's describing, I believe him. I bet you there was some real shady shill bidding going on, because a card like that is more on the higher end. So it does make sense for somebody would want to manipulate the price of that card. And the fact that that card was instantly relisted a little bit after a ton of buying action happens all the time. I'm sure you guys see that happen all the time. There's a card you're actively interested in, you're trying to get it, and you get outbid, and then 20 minutes later, that card's been relisted. You get a email notification like, oh, this card has been relisted. And you're like, whoa, this card's been relisted? And it hasn't even been relisted long enough for people to have communications back and forth. It's almost as if that card was sold and whoever bought it just instantly canceled the purchase, and then it was relisted. And then that happens all the time. It's not new. The fact that now this PWCC eBay drama will maybe shed some light on it for people that are maybe a little less familiar with the hobby. For a lot of people out there, like I said, all this stuff going on is just a yawn. Do I think there's going to be long-running effects with, PWCC cards no longer being on the market? The thousands of Pokemon cards, the huge returns that those cards did get because of, different factors. Listen, I always sold cards on PWCC because it was easy. And maybe I got a little lazy. I didn't want to list more of my higher end stuff on eBay because PWCC returns were just so good. And it's so easy. If you guys have never sent a card to PWCC, it's the easiest thing in the world. You literally go on the website, you print out a form, you don't even list the cards you're sending, you just list the quantity. You put, for mine, it was 82 items for August. You literally just load up a flat rate post office box. You smash all the cards in there. You get them so they're not moving around. You don't have to put plastic sleeves on them. You don't have to do anything. You just put it with the packing form that says exactly how many slabs are in there. You put a little comment in there. The little comment can just be 56 CGC slabs and whatever PSA slabs. And then when they get it there, they open up that box. They take nice scans of those cards. You can go on your PWCC account, you go under your monthly listings, and then there they are. All your cards are there. You wait for the auctions to come up, then you could review them if there's any misinformation or false information. It's just easy. And then not only did PWCC have those, PWCC also, doesn't send out like 1099s anymore. And a lot of people, especially with eBay and stuff like that, that was a way around it for a lot of people. Not to say anybody should be doing that. You should always be, letting the IRS know everything you're selling. I'm not condoning any of that. I'm just letting you know, like, this is the world we live in. These are the facts. This is what was going on. Was that a huge loophole? Yeah. And then for people buying on PWCC, in order to get around paying sales tax or state taxes, they would just have those cards instantly shipped right from the actual PWCC auction directly into their vault. And why would they do that? Like I said, so they didn't have to pay sales tax, because Oregon, where PWCC was based, does not have sales tax. It was easy. People did this stuff forever. Is it shady? Yeah. Is it a loophole through the system? Yeah. Is it unethical? Probably. But it doesn't change the fact that all this stuff was going on forever. Now, do I think some of this, advertising of shill bidding by eBay could be part of all that? What was going on, maybe more, in the back end that way too? Sure. When you have a lot of people not paying sales tax, not paying taxes, yeah, the government's eventually going to take notice. It wasn't really a matter of if it will happen. It was just a matter of when it would happen. Very similar to eBay, just having $20,000 limits before they would send you any kind of tax information. People could run multiple eBay accounts and not even get close to those $20,000 limits. Now with $600, has it changed a lot? Yes. But then PWCC was just an option for people to get around that. It's just, like I said, all this stuff going on in the Pokemon hobby is not new. It's always gone around. Market manipulation is not new. Shill bidding is not new. I don't know. I'm sorry if this isn't the video you want to hear, guys, where I'm just telling you how it was and how it is and how it will continue to be. Is there any stopping this? No. Are the sellers out there getting smarter? Yes, maybe. Are the buyers getting stupider? Yeah. It's sad. Buyers are just, especially with new money, buyers with new money are getting taken advantage of. That's one of the reasons this channel exists, that I saw that happening on a large scale. Try to warn people. Be smart about your purchases. Research your purchases. Don't get caught up in FOMO. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't make purchases that you haven't researched. Always understand the sets, understand the cards. Do every little bit of due diligence you can in this hobby to make yourself better, make yourself stronger, make yourself going to last in this hobby. Because what's going to happen, and I've talked about this before, is people will just leave the hobby. And they'll leave the hobby because they're just getting taken advantage of. Knowing all this stuff exists doesn't change my opinion on the market, because it's, like I said, it's a yawn, because it's always been around. It's just a matter of navigating the market. And maybe that's what we don't do enough. We try to talk about, the cards, we talk about the sets, we talk about all this stuff. Maybe we should talk more about just navigating the hobby as a whole. Being smarter collectors, being smarter investors, not getting taken advantage of. Because the crazy thing is when I, look at auctions, when I look at cards being sold, it's so easy to navigate this market. Like I said, you can smell a shill bid from a mile away. But sometimes I forget that maybe not everyone could do that. But anyways, guys, this is my video on shill bidding, on market manipulation. It is what it is. Do me a favor, go down below, hit the dislike button if you want. I don't care at this point. But other than that, I'll catch you on the next video.